Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 2CTV. Londonstan continues to face problems as the far left and Islamists occupy the streets of central London. Innocent Londoners and businesses being targeted, and the Metropolitan Police have finally been forced to make arrests. This weekend, as usual, we've had yet another round of a chaotic situation in our capital city, and it's not really a surprise anymore. The big shout out to Starmer Sycophant account. It's a satirical account on X that was filming the disruptions on Tower Bridge. For those who are familiar with London, Tower Bridge close to London Bridge, as well as the City of London. Obviously, yesterday afternoon, as the 2CTV, we were there as a team to report from Westminster, the City of Westminster, the chaos there. But there was a breakaway group that decided to go towards the City of London and to disrupt the businesses. And they have actually come out to make a statement as well, saying this is just the start. We are going to be, they've said they're going to be targeting innocent businesses and individuals, Londoners in general, because they have to disrupt the system, the whole system, in order to get more attention. We have some videos to show you guys from these disruptions as they have come in now, and we'll get your reaction as usual live. First things first, let's go to the first video. This is the moment the Islamists and the far left took full control of the Tower Bridge, disrupted the whole thing, blocked the roads, and caused trouble. One person was injured. We don't know exactly what happened there, but the police were there to look after them. Let's go. You know what's funny? They were saying stop arming Israel, but it kind of sounds like stop bombing Israel. Idiots. So that started. Apparently, this is just the beginning, because the statement we have from them, that group, is that today is just the start. In the next weeks, young people will be doing the same all over the country, disrupting business as usual until the government stops arming Israel, which they have already started doing that if you listen to David Lammy or Keir Starmer. It's time to step into action. Bunch of lunatics, anarchists, weirdos. So that's not really a surprise. There are more videos as well, which we can also show you. It's just chaotic scenes in London once again, but this time, as I said, not in the city of Westminster. This time in the city of London. They have decided to move their operation elsewhere because they were not getting enough attention when they were in Westminster. Let's go to this one as well. Yeah, you're gonna have to get used to this in London Stan, ladies and gentlemen. The police were forced, because they had no other option when this happened, because this was a breakaway group from the main protest, which was in Westminster. That was where we were yesterday when we reported. But this group went away from the agreed route with the police, and the Metropolitan Police posted this afterwards. A number of people have been arrested following the earlier incident on Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge has now cleared and groups have dispersed. Another small group have moved on to Whitehall, and the police are in attendance. It was basically a cat and mouse operation. The police were running around like headless chickens trying to find out where the Islamists are moving to. There were no riot police, which made it even harder for the Metropolitan Police to do their job, because the leadership and the command would not require the riot police or the police horses to be in operation unless the English are out protesting. If the English do a protest or a rally, you will see the riot police, you will see the police horses, the police dogs, probably tanks and helicopters, but you won't really see any of this when the actual enemy are on our streets targeting our businesses and innocent civilians in our capital city. Not really surprising anymore. A lot of people are sick and tired of the establishment because it comes across as the government is doing this on purpose. I don't blame people for thinking that. A lot of questions are not being answered by the political leadership. Keir Starmer and Yvette Cooper as Home Secretary have made things even worse than they were under the Tory government. It was quite impressive. I didn't really realize that we could get even worse than what we had under Rishi Sunak. But yes, we do. And it continues to get worse. As I said, these people have now released a statement saying this is just the start. We are going to be doing this more. Until now, we've had organized protests, which has been arranged by the police, between the police and the Palestinian groups. But now we are going to have more disruptions. Obviously, we are getting closer to the 5th of November, which is the anniversary of the gunpowder plot. And we should expect chaos. As usual, every year you got a bunch of weirdo Marxist anarchists, which, by the way, is an oxymoron. Being an anarchist and being far left is an oxymoron. You can't advocate for anarchy and no government and then say, what's your solution? More government. Idiots. Anarchy is libertarianism. All right, don't tread on me. Let's go. Let's have a look at some of the reactions from you guys. First, let's go to some super chats. Everyone says, the fools are destroying their own ghetto. Actually, Tower Bridge is close to a very diverse part of London. So yes, that comment is absolutely correct. I guess the drummer dropped the beat. I still love that when they were chanting stop arming Israel, when they were all chanting it, it sounded like stop bombing Israel. That's the Nick says London is surrounded by thousands and thousands of Christian warriors waiting for orders. F Hamas, F Hezbollah, F all the terrorist supporters. Those people make me sick. Still ongoing, unfortunately. And Graham says Britons have had enough of these protests. You want to protest? Go to Palestine. Well, it will be very difficult for them, Graham, to go to Palestine because Palestine is not a real place. It's a fictional. They don't even know what the borders or what boundaries or who the president was, who the first king was, who the first queen was, what was the first flag. They don't have any of that because it's not real, ladies and gentlemen. Charlotte Coleman says, Manchester is just the same as London. It is absolutely valid. Yes, I mean, we have also seen some scenes, footage from Manchester on a regular basis every couple of weekends. Now that the universities are officially back, because obviously it's now October, 20th of October, over the next few weeks, because the first few weeks of the university, the first term, in Manchester, obviously you have two major universities, and then you also have Salford, which is kind of a smaller third university. It's a university city. The first few weeks, obviously, since they started going back to uni in September, usually is spent by having all these university groups and societies getting together, making new friends and making new plans. So expect from November onwards more disruptions in Manchester as usual. A bunch of nutters going around disrupting the peace for everybody else. Philip says, afternoon, Maya. It is disgusting. Why were these groups allowed? They've been saying trouble brewing by those who should not be here. This is the interesting part, because there is a conversation to be had about the overall general hate marches that happens, because there's still a grey area, because people say, well, free speech, democracy, right to protest. But then some would say, well, these are no longer protests when the rhetoric coming from them is violence and genocidal chants like from the river to the sea or intifada. When will a peaceful protest, no longer be a protest? That's the key point. But when it came to what we are reporting now, the breakaway group that moved from Westminster, where we were, and then they moved to the city of London, near where the banks are, Tower Bridge and London Bridge, that was not allowed. That wasn't supposed to happen. The police did not agree to that. So that's why the Met Police they had no choice but to make arrests. But they were still quite slow to act. They were, again, this is the Metropolitan Police with a terrible, terrible leadership right now. So it's just a completely humiliating police force. You can't even say police force, because apparently it's police service. Randy says, and what you expect the government to do something about this? It's your responsibility, you clown. Talking to me. I hate this MFer. So this person doesn't speak English properly, because starts saying, and what you expect. You have to say, what do you expect the government to do? Two has one O, not two O's. That means something else. It's your responsibility, you clown. It's not my responsibility, because, or anybody actually watching this, because people are innocent citizens of this country. It is the responsibility of the government. It is the responsibility of the authorities. They are letting us down. They are betraying us, and that's not really the case. The problem we have is that there's still got a big chunk of society who are burying their heads in the sand. So they are condoning bad behavior from the government and the authorities. We've seen what's been going on with elections, for example. Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, who's in charge of the police, was re-elected. How? Because most people decided to stay at home, and he won by a small chunk. A minority of Londoners voted for him, and he won. So who do we have to blame? The people who stayed at home and didn't vote against Sadiq Khan. But the responsibility goes back to the government and the authorities. That is the key point. It's not my responsibility. I might be a clown to you, or people watching this could be a clown to you, but at least they can, and we can speak English, unlike you. Let's go back to you guys. Liz says, OMG, if that were anyone else, the riot police would be in there. Too scared of Islam. Yeah, as I said, that was one of the key problems. If this were a group of white English people protesting for something, or having a rally, which we are going to have next Saturday on the 26th of October, you will automatically have police horses, and also the riot police and dogs and everything else. Again, this is a double standards which has been normalized over the last few years until people say enough is enough, and they're not saying it. That is the issue. Yes, Adrian says the same. If it was English protesters, it would be a totally different situation. The police would be in riot gear and looking for trouble, even if there wasn't any. Exactly, absolutely spot on, Adrian. And again, people know this anyway. It's just, but it's good to remind people, especially if people are watching this from abroad, around the world. Super chat from Israel. Hello, handsome. That's me. If, God forbid, Kamala Harris is elected, how bad do you think the damage is for Israel and the world? Extremely damaging, because Kamala Harris is not even going to be status quo. And a lot of people would say, at worst, Kamala is just going to be the continuity Joe Biden. No, it's going to be even worse than Joe Biden. Firstly, we are going to do a video later on about Kamala, or maybe tomorrow, if we have time. Because she was at a campaign event yesterday, and she was confronted by a pro-Palestinian supporter talking about genocide. And Kamala Harris confirmed. Kamala Harris, the current Vice President of the United States of America and the candidate, confirmed she claims that Israel is doing genocide. I will give you the evidence later on 2CTV in case you do not believe me. Even Joe Biden has not said that. Even Obama has not said that. But Kamala has. It's a dangerous, dangerous situation if Kamala wins. Super chat. Last night I watched Yuri Bezmenov's lecture on psychological warfare and subversion. It's an ex-KGB and Soviet. I'd recommend everyone to watch. Absolutely. The video should also still be on YouTube. Definitely check out Yuri's video. This is from ages ago, decades ago. And he warned the plan that there's a long-term plan by the communists, backed by, at the time, Russia and China, that they already had a plan in case even the Soviet Union falls or whatever happens, which they technically did. Technically it fell. Well, it devolved itself to something else. They had a plan to plant their seeds of the virus of Marxism and division into the West, and that has been the result over the last few decades. Definitely watch out Yuri and what he had to say. John says they want our nation like they want Israel and everywhere else. Then they will ruin it. And Patrick says that according to Oxford University, there are 750,000 illegal immigrants in Great Britain. Just imagine if each of those are called to jihad, we'd all be slaughtered. So I believe the number is higher because if you also include those who already had their asylum applications from years ago, and they were told that you need to leave the country, but the authorities, the Home Office basically said, yeah, you have to leave in a week, in a few days. And they didn't leave. They just went lost. They got lost in the system. They are currently living somewhere in England or somewhere else, or Wales, and they are working cash in hand or in criminal gangs, and they don't pay taxes. So if you include that number on top of all the small boat people that have come in over the last 4 years, and other illegal migrants as well, and those who overstay their welcome, then you have over 1 million people currently illegally staying here. Much more than that. Play by their game, by their rules, lose every time. It is a concerning situation, especially when it comes to London Sun, as usual. Then it says, what is two-tier Keir doing about this? He's doing absolutely nothing. Not even a statement, not even a post on social media about the chaos that happened in London. Considering that the police freaked out, even the police had to arrest these people. They had no other option but to arrest them. You would think that the Keir Starmer would come out, or Yvette Cooper as Home Secretary, to say, guys, we are having some problems. We need peace. We got the far left and Islamists. Because when we had the first the protests and then ended up in riots a couple of months ago by the British people across England, angry people, concerned when they were called far right thugs and everything else. The Prime Minister and the Home Secretary were very quick to come out, make statements. Everybody did. Hamza Yousaf did, Sadiq Khan, all of them made statements, made videos condemning and everything else, but not much, nothing, zero reaction when it came to what happened this weekend in London. But don't worry, if the mainstream media is not reporting, and they are not reporting on this, 2CTV will continue to be here to be your go-to source for daily politics and geopolitical news from around the world. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya Tusi, and we are the media.